Israel of today is not the Israel of the Bible. It's not the same thing. And this is something that a lot of people forgot or never learned in the first place. The word Israel never started as a country, not even a place. It started as the name of one man. His name was Jacob, and he was the son of Isaac, and the grandson of Abraham, and the father of the 12 sons that then became the 12 tribes. The story is dramatic. Jacob was traveling back home to confront his brother Esau, and these two had been separated for years. One night, a mysterious man, and some believe and say that it was an angel, others say it was God himself, appeared and wrestled with Jacob all night long. And this Jacob guy refused to let him go until he was blessed. At dawn, this man touched Jacob's hip and dislocated it. But still, Jacob held on. And then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and men, and you have prevailed." That's what Israel means. The one who wrestled with God, or God wrestler. It's not about lands, politics, or borders. It's about relationship, the relationship with God, and it has to be passionate, demanding, and unbreakable. Now from Jacob came 12 sons: Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Isaac, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. And their descendants all became the 12 tribes of Israel. So they were not just a nation, they were a covenant of people. And these people were tied to God that renamed their father. Jacob became Israel. So the modern day Israel of today, or to better say the modern state of Israel, is not that same covenant community. It's a modern nation state that was created in 1948 with politics, laws, and borders. And the Rothschilds have to do with it also. They're all into that. They helped. They helped found it. And it is home to Jews, yes, but also to Muslims, to Christians, to Druze, and secular people. Its government is not a theocracy like ancient Israel, and its borders are not the same as the ones given to the tribes in the book of Joshua. Even geographically, ancient Israel shifted constantly. Under Joshua, under David, under Solomon, and then under foreign occupation. And the land of Israel in the Bible stretched further. At times, even further than the land that is shown today on the map. So when we're talking about Israel, we need to be clear. The Israel of the Bible was first a man, then a family, and then these people were bound to a covenant. While the Israel of today is a country, which is a modern political state. So it may carry the name, but it certainly does not carry the same covenant. So they don't have the same identity. Do you understand where I'm going with this? This is important to remember because the promise made to God, and this is very important to remember because the promise of God to Israel was never just about a piece of land. It was about faithfulness, obedience, and wrestling with God until the blessing comes. So with this said, the Israel of today is not the Israel of the Bible. So why does this name carry the weight of an ancient promise? The Bible said that God promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that their descendants would inherit the land of Canaan, and the land that later became known as the land of Israel. So when Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes, each tribe was given its own territory within that land, and it was divided carefully, tribe by tribe, just as described in the book of Joshua. And that land, that inheritance, became the symbol of God's promise. But here's the key throughout history. The land changed hands, and hands over time. Those tribes were conquered by Assyria and Babylon. They were deported into exile and then later brought back. They were ruled by Persians, Romans, Greeks, and eventually the Romans expelled a whole bunch of Jews after the revolt. And they renamed the land Palestine. which is where the name Palestine comes from, Palestina. And for almost 200 years, the Jewish people were scattered all around the world, while other people like the Arabs, Christians, and Muslims lived in that land. And by the 1800s, Jewish thinkers in Europe launched the Zionist movement, arguing that the Jewish people should return to the land of their ancestors. And after the Holocaust, support for the Jewish homeland grew. And in 1948, the state of Israel was declared. But here's where the conflict comes in. The land wasn't empty. These Arab communities had been living there for centuries, right? So they saw these Jewish people returning as foreign colonizers, and they called themselves Palestinians. And they too claimed the land as their home. Modern Israel believes the land is its historic and biblical inheritance given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They point to the fact that the land was once ruled by the 12 tribes, and that Jerusalem was their capital under King David. They argue if anyone has a claim to this land, it's the descendants of the man who wrestled with God and was named Israel. While the Palestinians see themselves as the people living there for hundreds of years, they've been there for generations, so they view the creation of Israel as a displacement, what they call the Nakba, or catastrophe. So you can see how this ties back to Jacob again. The struggle over this land is in per se another wrestling match. No one lets go. It's a modern echo of Jacob wrestling with God again. Only now it's not one man wrestling for one night. It's two countries wrestling for generations. And both claim that they have the right to hold on to their land. So they're going to hold on until they get the blessing of this land. And just like Jacob that walked away limping from his encounter, this ongoing conflict has left both parties wounded. So Israel, they are the descendants of the man who wrestled with God, claiming the ancient inheritance, while Palestinians, the people who have been living there for centuries, claiming the right to remain in their homeland. The conflict itself becomes a metaphor. Israel does mean the one who struggles. And this, my friends, is all of the biblical and ancient history behind Israel. So who do you think the land belongs to? Israel, the state, or the Palestinians that have been there for centuries?